Hello, I'm Richard Vobes, the Board Explorer, out on another exploration, and today I'm joined by the lovely Julia. Hello, Julia.
Hello, lovely Richard.
And of course, lovely Joseph. Hello, Joseph.
Hello. Hello, lovely Richard.
We're walking on the A27, just east of Worthing. As you come into Worthing, you're effectively going past the airport, Shoreham Airport, on the high road, and to my right, northwards, would be the beginning of the South Downs, up above Lancing and Sompting.
Yeah.
The reason we're here on the noisy A27, passing these gates where there's construction going on, is actually to look at that construction, because, as you know, I've been interested in the land grab, as I call it, of recent times, of all the housings and estates that are going on, but also here a bone of contention with the locals with a new superstore that's coming on and actually affects the lovely Julia in particular. So I'm going to try and get off this road and we'll tell you more about it.
Yeah.
So Julia, what is it they're doing here?
Well, there's proposed a fair bit, but it's definitely 600 houses, some of them supposedly affordable housing, and an IKEA, a superstore.
A massive superstore of IKEA. Just want to show you, this is land that has been a natural habitat for donkey's years. I forget what the name of the road, what's it called?
Mash Barn?
Mash
New
Barn.
Monk's Farm.
New Monk's Farm, that was, yeah. So we're just getting off the main road, and so we'll get away from that awful traffic.
So I can't remember what category floodplain this is. I think it's category C, but don't quote me on that.
So it's interesting, as you say, it's a floodplain. I just want to stop here for a second, because I want you to have a look at these trees.
This seems highly unnecessary to me. I mean, this is a floodplain after all. I know they've got technologies to put in, and specially designed drainaways and things like that, including an Archimedes screw, which is all very interesting, but they don't beat the natural world in flood capabilities. So I don't see why they needed to remove these trees.
Yes, because as you saw there, with just the stumps of a whole load of trees right at the edge of the area that's being developed.
Yeah, it shouldn't.
Just seems a shame.
Shouldn't have impacted anything. I mean,
Here you can see a bit more of the trees, and then this drainage ditch, which I'm going to assume is going to be improved so that any water that comes off the original land will be culverted and directed into the River Ada.
Yes. Yeah, I mean, part of this development, there'll be a new roundabout on the A27, which some think it will help alleviate the traffic problems, but I mean, as we know, it is a bottleneck here coming into Lancing. Yes,
as you come in towards Worthing, the whole area is a huge bottleneck. You've bypassed Brighton very successfully.
Yep.
With a road that does actually tunnel through some of the hills, and then it does cut into a little bit of the unfortunately, but it's a shame they can't do that here, because Lancing and Sompting actually sort of go up into the hills themselves, so you're cutting through there. The whole thing is for a traveller in a car, motorist even, is just a nightmare, and you have that nightmare really right up until the other side of Arundel. Yes, and well, a lot of locals, myself included, are slightly worried about the 600 homes and the massive IKEA and the existing traffic. So what was here before, Julia? It's old farmland, so what was here, I think it was considered brown site, and industrial things had been dumped here and things like that over the past few decades at least. But wasn't this a bit of a wild area for
Yes, it's a floodplain and has been functioning as a floodplain for all this time.
Right. But a habitat as well.
Habitat as well, yes. I couldn't name you all of the insects and the mammals and things that would.
But ever since I've been in this neck of the woods, I mean, nothing's ever been built here.
No, it's always been open, grassy, and
channels.
Channels, that's right, water channels in it.
Yeah.
As we can see, it's already at fair capacity, and on the main road to our right, coming off the A27, it's I think that's Grinstead Lane, isn't it? That's currently being pumped at the moment from the
So are you talking about the water?
The water, being pumped from underneath the road.
Yes. So all this is going to be under concrete?
It seems so, yes.
Now I know that where you live, and you live to the south
I'm
of
pretty much directly south of here, my house.
You're on a private estate, which sounds all very grand, but it's not terribly grand. No. The council therefore can't do any maintenance on the roads. There does seem to be very bad drainage already, because the slightest rain, it seems to come off the downs through this floodplain and then down through on your estate.
Yeah.
And it floods rather drastically.
It does. I mean, thankfully it doesn't last too long, but I mean, that could all change with the new landscaping that's going on here.
Yeah, so one of your worries is that because this is now under concrete, and we know that this is a fact, that as you build onto floodplain areas, the water's got to go somewhere, and although they planned for it to go into the Ada, it won't necessarily all go in there.
No, I mean, they have put extra high embankments and stuff, but I can't imagine that will...
Well, then the water would just end up in the houses.
You'd think it would level out, because I don't think there's no waterproofing sort of backing as such, if you see what I mean.
Yes, but are you saying that you are then containing the water within the houses that they've built? Where does it go?
It should be. It's going to be directed off down
through drains.
Through drains and supposedly concrete channels.
Right, let's carry on. On the opposite side, you can see the typical sort of landscape that we have. Here's a horse paddock with in the far distance, which you won't really see with this camera, I'm afraid, is a couple of horses. And then down this lane, there are still a couple of private, rather large houses down here. So this is an access route for them. But they're going to be greatly impacted by the landscape changing for them when these new houses come in. To be fair to the developers, they're putting in this IKEA building, which has promised jobs, employment.
Yep, and economy boom.
Yes, and are they putting in, did you say, a school or something?
There is supposed to be a school in the plan, but we're unsure who's paying for it yet, whether it's going to be the taxpayers or whether the developers are going to fork out for it.
For the actual building and infrastructure?
It's about 3.2 million,
Crikey.
I think.
Oh, okay. And the other worry is, of course, this is between Lancing and then the environs of Brighton, you know, as you get onto the old Shoreham Road. So between Lancing and Shoreham, and basically you're just joining up one town with another town with hardly any space in between.
Yes. Yeah, there is supposed to be a slither of a country park. Sorry, I'm being very biased here.
A slither?
But compared to what's being taken away from the environment, that is just a slither. There's supposed to be land for a school and a community hub.
We've come to a dead end here. We can't go any further. PPE must be worn, whatever that means. And as you can see, construction site, keep out. At one point, this must have been an old farm then. I mean,
yes, Mash Barn Farm.
When you look at old maps, this must have been a farm that was either for pasture or for agriculture, as opposed to just a flood plain, but presumably it did flood from time to time.
Yeah. I assume they grew things on it and they had cattle on it.
Well, it's pouring down with rain now, Julia. I think we're going to head back to the car and go and have a cup of coffee somewhere. But we just wanted to show you that because it's one of those things just highlighting really this year how much of the land is under development. The argument is going to go on, of course, about how necessary it is to give people homes and to build and to progress, etc. That's not going to change, and these things have to happen, but maybe we can have better conversations about them. And the sun is sort of coming out too. Anyway, hope you've enjoyed our little video, and we'll see you on the next one. Thank you, Julia, for taking me around.
Thank you for obliging.
Till next time, bye-bye.
Bye.